Woof woof! Hello everybody, Shuffle Woof here, with a new album review. Today we will be discussing the new Dima Foxpaws album, Orchid, or How to Bloom in Total Darkness. Dima Foxpaws is an artist from Ohio who started releasing music last year with her 30-minute album Get Popped. Personally, I was not a fan of this record overall, but it does have its memorable qualities, what with its steamy lyrics and surreal pop experiments. There is one song on this record I think blows the others out of the water, the absolute dream pop banger Get Fucked, which has robust production and an instantly catchy chorus. I genuinely go back to it often, even now I still think it stands as one of her best tracks. My one hope for a new record was that Dima would explore the Get Fucked direction more, and that her production would start sounding fuller overall. To my absolute delight, she totally achieves this on this new album. Orchid, or How to Bloom in Total Darkness, is a behemoth of a record with 20 tracks and 76 minutes of material. What I did not expect was that she would be going neck deep into rock, just hard pop, and pulling it off well while integrating it with her past dream pop influences. In some respects, it feels like Dima is building on what she did with Get Popped, but this time with an even sharper blade. There is a concept to this album. As Dima puts it, it is the story of a cyclical year that keeps repeating. From what I can tell, a lot of this album is a reflection on a past relationship and Dima's ups and downs during that period of her life. The story seems to be delivered chronologically throughout the track list, the closer even fading back into the first track. With that being said, the opener is a banger. From the moment you hit play, Dima is already hitting us with meteor writing, production and performances than I have ever heard from her, Space Force having one of my favorite hooks on the whole album. I love how grand this track feels, paired with a really clean banjo samples throughout. She seems to be reflecting a lot on growing in spite of past struggles, which plays into the loopable album concept quite well. Right after the opener, Dima hits us with another banger, Amy, which has one of the most fun and feel-good instrumentals in the track list. She dives a bit deeper into her rock influences, while still keeping it very dreamy. The guitar solos and background synth bits all agreeing really well. While I feel she could have done without the pad outro or the line about masturbation on the chorus, the rest of the song is so strong I am happy to let it slide. Track 3 confuses me somewhat. While I do love experiments, and Dima does pull it off just fine, You're So DIY goes in a rockabilly direction that is not touched on for the rest of the record, making it stick out a bit awkwardly. The next track, Too Much Fun, also feels like a diversion from the dreamier vibe the rest of the album is about to take. Dima singing about using the furry community as a form of escape so she can express certain parts of herself more freely. This one sounds like an exploration in 100 gecs, inspired hyper-pop until a third of the way in, where Dima opens up the track with some grandiose belting and auto-tune that really complements her voice. We even return to the first refrain while building on it in a way I enjoy. While those two tracks feel a bit random, from here the vibe of the album generally stays more consistent. Maybe It's Love is a dreamy soft rock cut that has one of the prettiest choruses here, Dima's voice sounding more romantic than ever before. I am loving the build on the bridge, the yearning, the pianos, and the string plucks. Gorgeous song all around. The high energy makes a swift return with the next track, Back in Time, another fun highlight that is just good synthy rock. She also sings the hell out of this one, this time with some quality belts on the chorus. I love a lyrical angle on this one too, Dima singing about how her ex is complicating their present life by reminiscing too hard on their past romance. We end on another pad outro, but I think this one complements the track more than the one on Amy did. Past this point is where I fear the album gets a bit spottier in terms of my personal interest. There are two interludes on the project, How to Bloom in Total Darkness, that I feel could have been removed or shortened given they are just meditative pad solos. Inoffensive, but they tend to take up space. There are also quite a few songs I do not think pack the same punch as a lot of the aforementioned highlights, because they have a great start, but they do not develop on their good ideas enough. Songs like Too Sentimental, State Line, Jade Pistol, and Weeks all feel brief in different respects, whether I thought more could have been done with the instrumentals or the songwriting. I feel quite a few of these trail off. This has nothing to do with Dima's taste for how she composes her sounds sonically, though, because that's always on point. I think When the Dam Breaks is a much better example of a simple track that does not have a dramatic build, but still feels substantial. It is dreamy, pretty, and interesting throughout with a delay and reverb on the vocals. I also love the lyrics, Dima describing uncertainties about the future in very pretty ways. She ends the track by saying, "Did you bet your dreams on old stars, lonely on the roof, you wonder?" And closing it off with some shimmery and very beautiful pass. Going Back a Bit, Isn't It Nice, is a short and sweet rock ballad with some surreal affectations here and there, one of the most feel-good on the album as Dima dreams of an idealistic future with a partner. Very pleasant on the ears. The song Cry Wolf gives me whiplash in a funny way, because we get a really funky instrumental for a few seconds before cutting to a completely different vibe, which feels more like early 2000s alt rock. That being said, Dima pulls off this sound really well with a soaring chorus and a guitar outro that is classic for the genre. Shoot First is a track that focuses hard on vocals, putting Dima's chillingly beautiful deliveries in the spotlight with nice finger-plucked guitars in the background. I am assuming this is the definitive breakup song on the record, given how Dima describes her hopelessness by singing, "Where do you stand when your foe shoots first?" There is a spoken word outro to this one that I do not think takes away from the vibe too much, even if that style of outro is not usually my cup of tea. Late Bloom brings back the alt-rock vibes, this time with an even more pop-friendly chorus about furry-themed love and sex fantasies. I have to mention one lyric that always entertains me, like that old webcomic said, you know, the one that turns you gay? If there is one thing Dima can write well, it is lyrics that hit very close to home. If you are a furry, I am sure many can relate. Hungover at the Con is a major highlight for me, and it was a great choice as the only single leading up to this album's release. It is just about having reckless fun at a con to escape the monotony of life. Very, very fun chorus. I love the pass on the refrain, just one of the catchiest tunes overall. Nearing the end of the album we have the 8.5-minute long track, Chastity, which I sadly feel torn on. There is an ambitious amount of storytelling happening here, Dima going into detail about how her ex cheated on her and how they are careless with things like sex, only for Dima to seemingly have second thoughts and over-sympathize with the ex by the end. I am not crazy about the instrumental in the first portion, where Dima is colder toward her ex, but I think the energy picks up nicely as the track builds, especially near the end. I also like all the references to previous tracks, making the record feel more cohesive. We end on The Basement, which I think makes for a nice closer. I am loving the light soft rock vibes and the nice melodies and harmonies on the chorus. From what I can gather, Dima describes her difficulty opening up to people, even if she yearns to put her full trust in someone again. The track ends on a very nice bit of violin work before looping back into Space Force. All in all, while I do think Dima could have been pickier with what tracks made it onto Orchid, I still do enjoy this album a lot. And the highlights are amazing. I am so impressed watching Dima's artistic progression up to this point. She is such a talent and I only hope she will continue to refine her work like she did here. I will end things off by saying that, if you are into dream pop or art pop, Dima Foxpaws is the furry artist you should be most excited to look out for right now. No one else does alternative pop sounds like her. Woof woof.